What up, ladies? I am now live on YouTube.com. Based. Trying to typing this from hardened encrypted Gen 2 ThinkPad. Based, as it should be. It should be from hardened Gen 2 encrypt hardened Gen 2 Cubes OS Cube. That would be more based. Ooh, let's see what's new in the darknet fields. Damn. Dark web. Darknet's for losers. Is IPFS a darknet? Why is it just Onion and not True Dark Web? ITP Tor HiveNet Freenet? IPFS? IPFS is. I don't think the IPFS is like a dark net, to be completely honest. I don't know what. I think IPFS is more of a protocol. I mean, they're all really protocols. Tor's like kind of like a mix. Huh. Yeah, that's a good question. If IPF requires a special software to use it and not accessible by ClearNet search engines, then it would be darknet, in my opinion. Well, I mean, then what's a VPN? You know what I mean? I wouldn't consider a VPN darknet, but it requires special software. I would consider them like more of, I don't know. We can look at these IPFS. Yeah. We can discover true definition. True based definition. I love emojis. They're awesome. Yeah. DeepNet maybe? Darknet is anonymous, right? I don't know. That's a good one. Darknet is. I mean, I think those words are technically interchangeable. Uh, so IPFS, Tor, ITP, and what else did you mention? Hyphanet, yeah, and then Freenet, obviously, and then we can't forget GGS Rail Network. This is actually a dependently. Every darknet is a deepnet, but not every deepnet is a darknet. So that smart fridge will require you to age verify. I'm waiting. It'll be funny. Is it all Mark Zuckerberg's fault? He is behind all this OS level age verification. No, he's just. I mean, like he. I wouldn't say it's just him. It's definitely a lot of things. I know people want to blame just Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, lobbying is part of the problem, and I mean it's definitely not a good thing. I'm not siding with it. Building my custom Fedora ISO right now. The second boot C image builder based. To be honest, if you say you're viewed to France and visit the hub, you can read that they are also pushing for OS late. Yeah, of course, France is a huge been a huge proponent of like France has been a huge proponent of age verification forever. I mean, this isn't like even new. This is like I think 2013 they tried doing it. And you're I mean, I don't know. It's no, what I meant is that the hub that is pushing for OS level verification EU countries are just pushing for digital ID. Yeah, I'm aware. It's like France is one of the biggest, strongest proponents for this. They have been. I know it's not just France, but like they have been very. I mean, this is why like Graphene OS left. One of the reasons why they left France. It's a matter of trust, brother. and my I guess like my problem is obviously this isn't gonna work. It's there's no way you can do this on Linux, even if the let's say the to be honest digital ID and for age verification is a better option. A bunch regarding online verification as a whole, none of them are good. Not even none of them are. This one is a better option. None of them are good. It's the internet. The internet needs to stay free and decentralized. And I mean, I've heard the arguments. They're like digital ID is blah 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 blah, and I'm like, why? Why do we need it? France is getting baguettes. We do like French bread though. I don't even think that any of them are a better option. This is like the one time where I'm not like this is the lesser of two evils. They're both evil. They both suck, and they both need to be eliminated. We don't need to do any form of digital ID or age verification in the big 2026. It's not needed. It's never been needed. And my thing is, a lot of people make like these arbitrary arguments like, oh, well, if you go to store and purchase pornography, you can ask for ID. The problem with this is that is still between A and B person. There is no record of me going and purchasing XYZ. There's no record of me going into the store, going to the store. If kids are getting access to online content that is considered inappropriate for them, they need their parents to step in and intervene. Parents need to be the parents and not the government. I mean, this is just something that I fundamentally will disagree at any point in time. It's different when, like, if you have like abusive parents, then somebody needs to step in and beat the shit out of your parents and like remove the kids from that said environment. That's about the extent of it. The government's job is to make sure that shitty parents aren't doing shitty things to minors because minors don't have the ability to consent, and that's really about it. We don't need any form of digital ID to prove kids you're an adult going on to Jerkmate and beating your meat. Because if kids have access to this stuff online, it would be, from my point of view, not a good thing. But would be a good thing is your parents getting involved and being like, hey, this isn't good for you. You shouldn't be accessing this. And we have so many fucking tools to prevent this from happening that there's no excuse anymore. We don't need like an ID system where the difference is like when I go to if these things still exist, a counter where they sell porn. Imagine giving another pedo a selfie for I don't know if I would go that far, but the problem is, say I go into a pornographic site, not site, but an establishment to buy my big mommy milker gooner shit, and they're like, sir, I need your ID. It's required by law. You have to be 18 to buy this. I give that person my ID, and that's it. That's all. It ends there. When I do digital verification, digital ID, you have zero proof that it is being stored. They would have to actually store it somewhere to prove, what if you come back to the site? What if you come back to the site? How are they going to re-verify that you're of age? I'm not making a Pornhub account to go jork my meat. You know what I mean? So they would have to they would either have to rescan your ID and make sure that you're an adult every single fucking time. That's crazy. And then if you have a digital ID that they need to store to prove this is XYZ, not going to happen. The government are ruling over this. If the government is if these companies have a way to store this information, then they're like, oh nope, this person's 18, we're good. Again, a way they would have to identify you, this is the same person logging in. Let's put that into a hypothetical. Then they're storing your digital ID somewhere to re-verify you each time. What is the form of Russian OSINT vendor browser? Vendor browser? I'm not entirely sure. You would have to re-ask that. So if somebody gives a digital ID and there's no re-verification process, they would have to constantly re-verify that you are this, or they would have to do it based off identifiers on your phone, whatever. This stuff will eventually be leaked. It will be a target because if it's got to be stored somewhere, it has to. There's no way they would be able to remember. Like the internet, it can't just like these online. They're gonna be like, oh my god, it's XYZ, and then if you have to constantly get, are we gonna give them photo ID and thumbprint? No, never. And I don't want to say parents are lazy. I think they're just too new to this. I think parents need education, and I think once the education is out there, that would allow them to take this information and pass it off. The only reason we say that is because we're people that are in this space and we see the ramifications of it. That's it. I mean, it's that simple. There's actually no good reason. People are coming up with these arbitrary arguments. They're like, well, we if we're gonna do it, we need to do it this way. Do it right. Do it now. No, there's no reason. There's no reason. There's no good reason for digital ID. If somebody can give me a concrete answer of what's good about digital ID, I'll listen. I'll still disagree with them, but I'll listen. But I haven't heard a single good one. The one is, oh, it'll prove that these kids are accessing these inappropriate apps. No, how about you just step up and be a parent and just go up to your kids and be like, hey, you first off, your thumbprint app. Okay, then where are they storing it? Where are they storing the thumbprint? You can't change your DNA, and also you can just grab again. I could just grab my brother's thumbprint, who's 18, put it on there. Hey brother, I wanna go on Roblox or whatever, and they're not letting me. Meta and the Hub push OS and App Store verification because they want to put the cost and legal responsibilities on the OS and the App Store provider. Yeah, of course. And they also want to comply with the law. Of course. They want to make sure that they're ahead of the game. Mark is thinking like 5, 10 years out. If they lobby and put it ahead of the game and ends up being an actual, which would be fucking crazy, an actual, if they're ahead of the game and they're like, hey, look, we've been supporting this forever. The OS should cover the cost, or the government, or people, or whatever. I mean, I could go off the list. I mean, that's not crazy. Bro, it's 100% about the money to be made by surveillance. Yeah, surveillance companies are going to make it. Nothing to do with protecting the kids or anything. There's huge cash. Yeah, of course. 100%. It is definitely never, ever, ever with intentions. It sounds like it's a good intention. It sounds like it's a great idea, but it's not. Yeah, it's called surveillance capitalism for a reason. Yeah, I mean, of course. I think it's less of a capitalism ideology, and it's just surveillance. Surveillance is always gonna. I mean, you can make money. You can make money with anything if you really think about it. And I would say even going as far as like people need to go to platforms where this doesn't exist. I mean it's not that difficult to adjust your. I don't know, maybe it's just me. We all need to go to Argo on the Zuck. It's not gonna. Oh la la! My first ever custom Fedora ISO generator is complete. Let's put it to QEMU and say something soon. Boo though, boo Fedora. I'm just kidding. Fedora's better than Debian. Yeah, I mean, we can go as Argo as we want, but people are just sucked into social media. I mean, it's a shame. It's disheartening. It's sad, and I wish it could be. I wish it could be different. I hate YouTube. It forces me to put something as a short that I want when I do not want to. Can I just... Maybe I have to upload it from my computer. It says partially blocked. What the fuck? It's been only up for... Oh my god, because of a... Oh no, I can't show it in India. Damn. Not even 30 seconds. One second. I already got a fucking copyright strike because I... That's so funny. YouTube's funny. Cause like it's so because of like a song, which is kind of funny. That sure was funny. If you don't want to be if you don't want to make it a short, make the video a widescreen mode. Damn Daniel. I think I did do it in widescreen mode. I just did. Well, no, I shot it vertically. Damn it! I shot it vertically. I don't know, man. I don't use like my normal camera to do videos. I just use my phone because I'm lazy. I was gonna have my my AR-15 next to it, but I was like thinking, I was like, YouTube's gonna fucking flag this because anytime it sees a gun, it has a stroke. Maybe my next video, we need to do a privacy protest. I mean, I'm not trying to be like combative here, but I think most of that shit doesn't work. Most protests are cool in theory, but a lot of the protesting today is like we need legislation. We need to, I mean, first it's kind of like a cycle. You have to reject with your dollars. First, you have to reject with your dollars. You have to reject with your dollars. You have to use privacy products. That's the first step. The more people that use privacy products, the less that effect they have. That's not only the first step. That's just that you should just do that in general. Second, you have to lobby. Lobbying, people complain about lobbying, but you have to remember, lobbying, anyone can lobby. Anyone can get someone in Congress, in your state representative, anybody can start organizing some form of lobbying. You need to bring this attention to your representatives. You need to call them, write them, and be a bitch. You need to be that guy. And I know that people have this illusion of choice and like voting doesn't matter and whatever. I mean, if they want to be cucks, they can be cucks. Hacktivism works better. No, not really. Like hacking doesn't do anything. Recompiled the kernel. Now I need to reboot. Unfortunate. You should get a new kernel and tell them Kentucky Fried Chicken. But my parents are living in the world of I have nothing to hide crap attitude. Of course. But they need, again, this always comes down to something that I genuinely will always, it's a hill I will die on. They need something to happen to them that will change their opinion about privacy. AKA, they need a life-changing event. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't have to hurt. It doesn't have to financially destroy them. They need a life-changing event to happen to them in order to change their opinion about privacy. They need it to happen. There's no other way around it. The reason I installed Linux is because Windows wouldn't work. That is life-changing because I spent money on a laptop that I can no longer use because it was bloated by Windows. It wasn't life-changing. It wasn't dramatic. I wasn't going to go broke. I wasn't about to be homeless. I was just very angry at something, and I found a solution. Those solutions came from, quite literally, the anger that I got from said event. That event led me to down the rabbit hole. The rabbit hole led me to pretty much why I'm sitting right here in this chair with back problems. So they already have their passwords online. Of course they do. Your parents don't know any better. Your parents, but how you capture the people around you is not being combative, not making them feel bad. Not like me online. Is not lobbying works in the U.S. because USA has so corrupt and U.S. protests do work. The pirate political parties manage to stop chat control. That's a form of lobbying. I wouldn't not consider that not lobbying. You could reach in European Union. You can reach out to your prime ministers and like your officials and just tell them like, hey, we're not going to vote for you anymore. I mean that's just when you live in like a democracy. Like I know people like to call the United States a republic or whatever. It's just a stupid argument to have. Hell yeah, touchpad works now that I installed the driver based. Touchpad gay. So to like the password thing, like you need to just educate and be like online me is not in real life me. I'm generally not as combative when people bring up their concerns. I listen to them and I come at them with the thing that they care about most. Like you have to find their core problem, like their core care. Like, Mom, Dad, do you hate ads? Oh, you do? Well, here's a solution. Install Brave. Oh, you don't like Google? You don't like Microsoft? Use DuckDuckGo. That's how you get them. Because generally boomers are like, I hate ads. I hate this. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you get them. And then when they install Brave, and you don't have to even sell them on the privacy part. You just got to be like, hey, Dad, I know you hate ads. Here's your solution. That's how it generally works. That's how you get the average consumer. They don't give a fuck about privacy. No one does. No one does until, again, something dramatic happens to you, and then you're exposed to this stuff in a non-schizophrenic, non-combative way, and you're like, oh, this is great. Like me, like when I talk to people, when I give people like my email aliasing, they're like, that's a weird email. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like spam. And they're like, me neither. And they laugh. And after they laugh, I'm like, do you want to know how I do this? Yeah, this is how I do this. Or they'll tell me they have like 30 emails, and I'm like, cool, this is how you fix that. And I write it down for them, and I give it to them, and I answer their questions when they have questions, and I don't come off like I'm schizophrenic or crazy or technophobe. I love technology. I'm like building a smart, like I want to build like smart house stuff and automation. Touchpad scrolling on Wayland is fun. Based. Yeah, Wayland based. Wayland more secure. Optimal based. And the thing is, you got to be patient because eventually you'll get people on Signal. Eventually they're going to see, like, I know more people that know more about Signal now because of Signalgate. And I even talk to people like that, like go overseas or like travel, and I'm like, why would you use WhatsApp? Signal exists. Or like it'll be like a boyfriend, a girlfriend, and they're like, my girlfriend has iPhone, she wants to FaceTime, or vice versa, and I'm like, just use Signal, and they're like, why? I'm like, because you get stickers and you can FaceTime to each other. I'm like, oh, I'm like, yeah, it's not hard. That's how you convince people. You find common normal talking points and you find their what I call their pinpoint, like their pain point. Smart house. Wait till you see Japanese toilets. Oh, I'm aware. I want a bidet. Bidets are awesome. They clean your ass so well. I've used a couple. Like if I were to commit like burglary in someone's house and there's like $100 sitting there or a bidet, I would steal the bidet and then put it in my house because it's awesome. Because they're sick. Like automation is cool. Like being like technically aware is awesome. I like technology. I don't hate it. I don't fear it. South Park episode. I like technology to the point that I'm glad that I live in this time zone that like in this time area of society where I get to experience a lot of it. But it's not as simple as uh hey, like just throw it out and live in the woods. That's just gay. You need to take a stand and find solutions. The thing I like about smart houses and automation is the Linux community and the open source nerds are so annoyed about cloud infrastructure that they look for solutions. They're like, hey, use this random tool that's an open protocol. Like Zigbee's like one of them. Like if you want smart light bulbs with no cloud integrations and it uses Zigbee, Zigbee can be used completely local. There's a South Park episode he talks about that. Oh, really? Oh, Japanese toilets. So like if you get like a Philips Hue like smart bulb, and you like the fact that you come home, you turn it on, you turn it off, it's amazing, and Philips Hue is like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. We're killing Zigbee, we're killing our smart bulbs, we're throwing them out. It doesn't matter. Like you know what I mean? Like it literally does not matter because it's local, it's locally controlled. You have to get a controller for it. They're very inexpensive, and you have to make sure that you have Home Assistant set up. Which, if you have a miniature PC sitting at home doing nothing, collecting dust, set it up. Home Assistant is super powerful, super based, and you can do automation. Like if Jay comes home and he wants to jork his meat, he can set up like automation where he'll turn on his TV, turn off his lights, and lock his door, and he can start jorking it. You know what I mean? Like quite literally from him just walking into his room. He can have a permanent jork room in his house via open source automation and scripting. Because that's the best part is we quite literally have so much ability to take stuff and almost like in a sense reverse engineer it where we don't have to like rely on the cloud system. We have so much information now that it's super that is based. Super based. Investigation and meta lobbied for App Store verification laws. Yeah, that's good. And gay. 9 hashboards. Oh, nice. Give me that donkey tone. Like, I didn't ever think that. It is super funny when based. Jay has a wife though. Yeah, but why wouldn't you want to have a jorked room? Wife is my laptop. True. Just remember that scary thing about protesting nowadays is that they use AI cameras and triangulation phones to find out who's at the protest. Then don't bring your phone to a fucking protest. You should never. I mean, that's not even like strangulation isn't even new or scary. Don't bring your phone. You don't need to. You never needed to. There is here. I can spell it out. Zero reason to bring phone to protest. If I had bigger screen, remember that Silicon Valley episode where Richard called his laptop his girlfriend? No, I gotta rewatch that show. It was really funny. Don't bring your phone. Just bring a camera. Bring a camera. Go and chill. Wear normal gray man shit. Like look like a normal person that's just taking photos, and go home. Don't bring your phone. You don't need to live stream your fucking protest. There's so many cameras. They're probably already doing that. And just wear cool shades. Put on a fake mustache, and maybe even shit your pants because no one's gonna want to be around you. Not even the AI. I just don't understand why people bring their devices there. And if it's all about coordination, there's this crazy new invention. I know it's hard for protesters and people that are doing like fake activism. I know it's hard to pen and fucking paper. Hey, we're gonna meet here. Or just communicate before you show up to the protest. Hey, we're all gonna meet here. We're gonna end here. You can't remember 2 steps. You know what I mean? You should use glasses that block IR light so AI cameras don't identify you. Wearing mask in public is illegal in my country. It's not illegal here, so that's why I love America, baby. I'm sick. I take a landline telephone to a protest, and I would love actually to own a I'll never go to a protest. Fuck around fun always happens now. No, I'll go to them. They're awesome. Tindering in protest is the best place. Yeah, this is how you pick up the baddies, guys. Is you go there and you don't even have to know what's going on politically. You can just pretend like you agree. You're like, yeah, I agree, man. This is pretty like crazy. But I go to protests all the time, like in general. Like I'm just an observer. I just observe things because they happen. I'm not unless I'm going to work. Then it's a different story. Then I hate them because I'm like you're blocking traffic, nerds. I need to go to work now. I don't have a problem with people even going to them. I think they're fine. I just think people shouldn't bring their phone. Come on, son. Are you for real? You don't get the value of encrypted communications on the ground when pigs are coming to kill you? No, I just think that there's no reason to. You don't need the communication doesn't matter if it's encrypted. It's the metadata that law enforcement can use to determine who is there or not. You have stingrays. Stingrays are very common, even though the Stingray is like the brand name. It's like one of those things like Kleenex, and it doesn't matter if the communications are encrypted. The metadata that can get leaked is the problem. There's too many mistakes to be made, and there is quite literally, again, no reason to bring a cell phone to a protest. Then you are dense. No, it's just there's no reason. If you can give me one good reason, what do you mean no? People have been caught through metadata like quite literally. All the time. It's a consistent problem. It's not a way to be there's no purpose in bringing your cell phone. Zero. You need to take pictures, bring a fucking camera. Very simple. If you can give me 5 good reasons why you should bring a phone to a protest, I'll listen. What about Ubers back home? Just fucking take the bus. It can't be that far from your home. If you're protesting, it can't be that deep. You can actually call in Ubers from if payphones were still around, but you can just call them in. just go buy a flip phone, 30 miles from it. No, but joking aside, just take a bus. Just take a public transport. It's not that hard. And again, for the retards in the back, encrypted communications does not protect you against metadata. Metadata is enough to correlate you that you are at a protest. This is why people have gotten caught using Signal. This is why people have gotten caught at protests. This is why people have gotten caught saying they're going to go to protests and do crimes or whatever. It is not that difficult to correlate that this retard was you. And if they arrest you and you could communicate with walkie-talkies or LoRa, right? Yeah, but LoRa is not really. Meshtastic's encryption isn't really that good. Call a taxi or ride a fucking bike, even better. Thank you, Ryan. Call a taxi from just walk into your local Subway and be like, hey, I don't own a cell phone. Can I use your phone to call a taxi? And can someone look up a taxi for me? But ride a bike. Just ride a bike or or fucking bus there. You know. The point is, you can communicate with walkie-talkies, but it's open. Walkie-talkies is it's actually illegal to have encrypt. I believe it's illegal for encryption to exist in walkie-talkies. I believe. So you'd have to use something like LoRa. LoRa's not perfect. It can get jammed. The encryption isn't perfect. They've noted this. If the device gets compromised, it doesn't help you. If you use the GPS, you're kind of fucked. I mean, if you really absolutely need it, you would have to go get a phone. You would have to get Graphene OS. You would have to get a device that you can put Graphene OS on. That you paid in cash, and you would have to use like Simple X. Even better, the Subway. You could say that you forgot your cell phone at home instead of saying you don't own one. Yeah, or the Subway. Come on. Eat fresh. Subway eat fresh. You could use Simple X if you really wanted to. But again, there's no reason to ever have a device to take the risk at a protest at any point. There's no point. There's the risk versus reward. Where is the reward that you have your device on you? If somebody could point out why they would need their device, I am too fancy to use public transport. I need a fancy limo ride. True. I've never been in a limo. I should go in one. They look cool. The '90s kind of red pilled me on limos being super cool, but I've never been in one, and they're probably not as cool as people make them out to be. They kind of they're hey, I feel like in the '90s, a lot of movies in the '90s, there's always people taking limousines everywhere. And I've never been in one. It's probably not as cool as the movies make it and shows. But if somebody can give me a comprehensive reason why, maybe I should redo that format for that video. Damn it! Damn you, formatting! Haha, 78 views. Fuck you. Fuck you, YouTube, and you're partially blocked because something about India and something about the UK and something about whatever gay state or country that is. Damn you. I need to put this on Nostr. That'll be funny. Man, I hate brainstorm video ideas. Delete forever. This will be deleted. But yeah, so no point in bringing in a device to. There's just none. I can't think of one. I really can't think. I've read it on the OPSEC Bible. I've read people's opinions. I just don't. I can't see the vision. I'm blind. No 4K. If you're ever in a limo, make sure you ask another car for a gas pump, a great pumpkin mustard. A great Poupon mustard? Oh. But the issue is that some countries you need a smartphone app to pay for public. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not aware of those countries, but this is America, baby. Where's the bald eagle? Can I get a no copyright bald eagle? Does that exist? No, bald eagles are. Hell yeah. Bald eagles are kind of badass too. Yeah, look at this bald eagle. Hell yeah. Yeah, where's his guns though? Hell yeah. AR-15s, baby. Hell yeah. Yeah, fuck yeah. Fuck it, free healthcare. Yeah, Mac 10. Based. Hell yeah, Walmart too. Walmart was involved. Walmart's always involved. That's what makes it based. There we go. Play the sound of a hawk. Just play a hawk sound. If you ever Grey Poupon mustard. I'm more of a yellow mustard guy. Yeah, but it's not the same. You truly need based bald eagle moments, because if you don't, but regarding using smart app for public transfer, you could just later put your phone in a Faraday bag. Or tinfoil. Faraday bags are overpriced. Just use tinfoil. It's real. Or just put it in airplane mode, actually. If you're running Graphene OS, airplane mode literally works. Try to call it. Try to connect Bluetooth. Faraday bags are overpriced. Gay bags, either tinfoil or just put it in airplane mode. Same thing. Because Android is literally immutable, and it's if your device could bypass these restrictions, you quite literally have a compromised device and a Faraday bag. A Faraday bag would not help you because when you take it out, it would be then said compromised anyways. That is my point. Faraday bag's useless. Airplane mode based. That's why it works. That's why we love Faraday. I should have just started a Faraday bag company because people just buy. I should just if I had zero ethics, I'd be able to make a ton of money in the privacy space. Super gay, super, super gay VPN. Graphia coming to the mother. Yeah, but it's gonna be their flagship phones. It's going to be their flagship phones, and people don't realize that. So their flagship could be still like $800 to $1,000. What is, before we go into the main topic, the ADHD kicked in. And if people are getting it because it's not Google, that's just retarded. That's like literally the dumbest thing. Unless you live in a country where it's embargo, like where it's illegal to own, or it's like $8,000 to get it, sure. But if people are not getting it because it's a Google made product, that's retarded. And we don't even know what phones they're picking. Let's see what it says. Flagship. Oh. If I could spell. Let's see. Got water. Got balls. Razer Ultra, not good phone. Best cheap folding phone. Motorola Razer, best Moto G phone. Not getting it because Sims won't work in individually imported phones. Is technology evil? No, technology is based. I hope they will support the budget phone. They said they're not. They're not going to. They're only doing it to their two flagship phones. the point is, the more phones that are supported is somewhat taxing in a sense. You have to remember that. Mm, we live in a surveillance state. Yeah, of course we do. But there's ways you can avoid that. do, do, do. What's the retail value of this? I mean, you can just get a Pixel A. $1,000. I forgot how much I love KDE before today. KDE sucks. We all do. I mean, but there's ways you can avoid it. No, I will never be able to afford that. Yeah, no, it's not avoidable. It's definitely avoidable. Because I'm not a bitch. Damn. The thing, I don't think that's the flagship that they're picking. KDE is the worst Linux system. There will be enterprise phones, like Motorola, going to try to sell companies. Yeah, they are going to work on that. But they're going to work on an enterprise. They have a business section that they're going to work on. That's subjective, in my opinion. DWM is the best Linux desktop. Boo. KDE is the worst. No, actually, Cinnamon is the worst. This is brought to you by me using KDE Gang. It's definitely avoidable though. If you ain't a bitch. The thing is, you with at most I can afford mid-range price phones. Yeah, and that's completely fine. But it's gonna have to trickle down. First off, Motorola has to see they have to see the return in the work they do. They have to see it from a business perspective. They have to make money off this. If they don't make money off this, why the fuck would they care? Unless they really see the benefit in returning security. They're only doing this because they assume that more people are going to want to buy their product. Also the gayest, Hyperland, I will assume since I tried it 5 minutes after seeing it on OpenSUSE software manager. OpenSUSE is based. OpenSUSE based, Hyperland gay. And I agree that it would be nice for it to get to the mid-range phones, but if the mid-range phones don't meet their security standards, then it doesn't matter. Anyway, I use Linux, so that solves everything. Yes and no. Linux isn't really secure. I mean, like, if you what's DWM? It's Dick Women Windows Manager. Dick Women Windows Manager. Yeah, for real. Using Linux doesn't increase your security or your privacy. This is like very like something that I thoroughly disagree with in the Linux community. I think that it's based that people use Linux. I think open source should be the option. It ought to be the option from like a moral standpoint because open source allows people to have user choice. And I think user choice and choice in general creates for a better free society. But the problem is Linux isn't secure out of the gate. It has a ton of like glaring issues, and that's not good for the user at the end of the day. And most importantly, people need to determine what it is. Oh, you were joking? I mean, like, even if you were not joking a lot, this is actually like a mentality. Like, regardless of people are joking or not, this is an actual like pinpoint of people saying why you should switch to Linux. Dynamic Window Manager, DWM, no way. This is actually like a pinpoint where people like actually think that like Linux is like the option to move to when we're gonna get a bunch of like novice users that Windows Manager developed by Suckless. The Suckless Windows Manager is not based, not cool. I used it on the Pine phone and I did not have a good time. I used a Suckless window manager on the Pine phone and I hated it, but it was super based. But people do think that like, oh, like I use Linux, like this is like gonna be the solution, and it's kind of sad. I've been using Linux for a couple of months and it sucks. What's your Linux? What do you use? Because if you say Pop OS or Debian or Ubuntu, I'm banning it. I'm running off a thumb drive. Well, no shit, it sucks. That no shit, it sucks. You're running off the thumb drive. Honestly, only the Linux kernel sucks without userland. Ubuntu, bye. No shit. You're using Ubuntu off a thumb drive? It's blow. By the way, Linux is actually more secure now since Microsoft grew a habit of breaking core utils in every non-security update. No, Linux is not more secure now. Wayland still hasn't been adopted, which is a nightmare. LTSs are still preferred over like rolling release, when bleeding edge and like rolling release obviously is better. I'm a newbie. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Most people start on Ubuntu, but once you realize that systemd is terrible and like LTS Linux systems are awful, you will go to like you'll eventually land at Arch or like Gentoo or like the more based option Void Linux, which is on them. Okay, that might explain many of my problems. Yeah, Ubuntu's garbage. It's the corporate Linux. I mean, Void Linux is pretty odd. Like, what the real question you got to ask yourself when you switch to Linux? This is actually like a really easy thing to kind of hit. Let's do just like an online notes editor, online notepad. So this is a very easy thing. This is how I determine like myself. What software to use? No, don't corrupt him into thinking Fedora is good. What software do you use? That's a good one to think about. Like if it's just a web browser, you could honestly get away with a lot like more lighter weight distros. What is your goal? Goal. MX Linux without systemd is a great starting point. Don't lie to him. What is your goal? CubesOS is the answer. Fedora is crap. Fedora is giving Fedora with Flatpaks is better. Secure Blue would be like a better step in Fedora. What is software to use? What is your goal? You're crap. That's funny. What is your goal? What software do you use? Do you game? That's a good one. But I've gamed on every Linux distro under the sun. And I would say even more. I'm not changing. No, because I like Ubuntu because I'm lazy. But it's on a thumb drive. You should change to. Maybe it's because Fedora keeps breaking. Where? Honestly, I distro hopped so much. Like I went from I've used. Let me see actually. Let's see what works on my machine. Works on my machine, buddy. Oh no, the meme. I actually like distro hopping. That's why I like Cubes. So Casio Linux used it, sucked. Mint sucked. MX Linux sucked. Pop OS sucked. That broke twice. Debian, fuck Debian. Never want to use it again. Unfortunately. God, I hate DistroWatch. They become such a cuck. Oh my god, so many fucking. I hate that they don't let me fucking pick. They. I hate. I hate DistroWatch. They become a giant fucking billboard. Whatever. I've used Kashi. Kashi sucked, Mint sucked, MS Linux sucked, Papa West sucked because it broke like multiple times. Debian hated it. Zorin is weird because you have to pay for it and it kind of sucked. Endover used it for a couple like weeks, didn't like it. Manjaro unbased, and it proves that you are gay. Fedora, I used Fedora Secure Labs, it was okay. Tails OS routes all traffic through Tor and it runs off USB drive. Yeah. I'm going security focused only. If you're going security focused only, then you need to either use Unix or Cubes OS. That's the only option that you have. Tails OS isn't a security focused distro; it's a privacy focused distro. That's the difference. Pretty good privacy and security wise. It's not good security wise. It's better privacy wise. I mean, security wise, you're actually the only benefit is that it's amnesic and it runs in RAM. And it's, I mean, we went through a whole stream of like how RAM can be like exploited, and it's very rare. And like, I'm not going to get into the gayness of it, but it exists. Rhino Linux was really good at a start. If they kept and maintained, they may have become really good. Maybe. Zorin was kind of weird because you paid for it. I didn't pay him anything because I think you can make it zero. Endover is gay. Manjaro makes you actually a furry by default. Fedora, no thank you. Ubuntu, gay. Never used this. OpenSUSE is pretty cool because it's got a chameleon as their mascot. That's the only reason. It's independent. Bazite was very restrictive. I didn't like that. I meant both. If you meant both, then Cubes OS or Unix. I mean, those are your only options. Or Secure Blue. Gen 2 is better than Arch. That's true. Nobra, hated it. Hated the people that made it. And I hated the whole entire layout. It was lame. Arch Linux Superbase, used it for a very long time. Actually, Arch Linux was my longest running distro besides like Void. It's Arch and Void. Elementary OS is cool because it's made by a trans person. Nix OS, hate them, hate their community, hate the whole entire concept of it, and it actually makes you not only a furry but also change your gender overnight. Antix, never used it, doesn't look important. Blue Star, don't know what it is. The word big Linux just implies that small Linux exists. KDE Neon, never touched it. FreeBSD is for people that never fucked a woman in their entire life. Omarchi is a federal honeypot. Q4 OS, never heard of it. Pika OS, never heard of it. KDE Neon, not really. Kali Linux is for people that want to go into cybersecurity but have never touched a computer in their life. Sparky Linux is just kind of looks cool, but it's not really cool because it's based on Debian. Tuxedo is just a company that wants to like sell computer parts, which is kind of gay. Alpine Linux is super based if you actually want to be super based and you also want to run Alpine Linux. If you want to be able to obtain a wife and have Alpine Linux and be able to say that you get bitches, Alpine Linux is the option. Zima OS, never heard of it. CentOS got discontinued because, CentOS, it pretty much was like they got bought out. Like, CentOS got bought out because it was like owned by Red Hat, and then IBM was like, hey, money. PC Linux, never heard of it. Artix, never touched it. Kind of gay. Tails, super base. Duevan. It's like the OK Debian, but that's not really. I use Pico OS, bro. Antix is pretty cool. It has IceWM, but yeah, I'd go with Cubes. Yeah, you should. Cubes is base. Secure Blue community is pretty nice, but Parrot Home Edition is very usable. But it's also based on Debian, which is super gay. Tails super based. Pico wouldn't boot on my QEM. I tried to try it yesterday. Void Linux is the only option that you should pick because it makes you super cool and super base, and you can tell people you use Void. Linux FX, never heard of it. Extron, never heard of it. Voyager, never heard of it. Solus, this is my favorite and probably the best distro that I ever used. And it's from Ireland, so they obviously know how to make Linux. They obviously know how to drink, so I trust them. And there's cool wallpaper. Cool wallpaper automatically makes you a better Linux distribution. Pika is Debian, SID, best quality Linux malware. Yeah, Debian's a Linux malware. FIDE OS is something based on Gen 2 and Chrome OS actually, but it's, I believe, proprietary and there's like a cost to it or something. I think you have to pay for it like every year in order for it to get like updates or something. I remember like coming across it. It was interesting. TinyCore is pretty cool if you have no RAM. AV Linux is for people that like watch porn and they like obviously like AV. I touched this once. It was kind of weird. I didn't like it. Gentoo Super Base, Fun OS Base. Easy OS is probably not easy. Hacker OS sounds actually really gay, and it should never be used. Parrot is Um, let's see, what else have I used? I've used Dragon OS. It actually Artix is basically just Arch System D's nuts. I used Artix before trying Fedora, which broke, and before trying OpenSUSE, before trying Gentoo. Gentoo works, Gentoo based. Dragon OS is for people that like ham radio and they like to listen to radio waves via computer. Alt, never heard of it. Nebius OS is weird. Cubes OS is on the bottom, unfortunately, because it's so good that it's holding the weight of all the other terrible distros that are ever existing. AXOS, never touched it. Ubuntu Studio sounds super gay. React is kind of cool because it's actually, imagine if you had Windows, imagine Windows but open source, which is kind of weird. Vanilla, never touched it. Deepin was like pretty much a Chinese federal honeypot. GhostBSD is for people that honestly that like the internet but don't like touching anything else. And then there's Aurora. I like GhostBSD out of all of them. And then there's where's the other one that I used? It was kind of Archbang. I touched Archbang once because it had the word bang in it, and the word bang is kind of cool, and it's got a nice wallpaper. Its desktop is Live Medium. It uses the LAB WC. It's from Canada, and it's based on Arch. I only used Fedora for like a week. I used Fedora a couple times. It's okay. Archbang was interesting. Wow, FreeBSD update. And there's, hey Frank, what was the name of the creep OS with a bunch of shady VPNs? Oh, Kadochi. Kadochi is dog shit. Kadochi is like their own VPN, and it routes huge quotes through Tor, and it's like, all right. I wish I could find the article on Kadochi because it explains in like really good depth on like why it's bad. But I could just tell you why it's bad. It's maintained by one person, and they pick they pick like their own, like they pick stuff that is like not good. Man, I've always wanted to give someone the RKO. Cobra yes, that one. Cobra OS. Forgot to say Happy Pi Day before it was over in my time zone based. Cobra is cool. It runs off floppy, but not Linux. What are the image search engines that respect? What are some image search engines that respect privacy? None of them really. I mean, I guess you could use like Brave. Brave has got some decent privacy. Or CRXNG is good, but you got to run it yourself. Yandex, I would not use Yandex. Yandex is a Russian company, correct. I would not trust Yandex as far as you could throw them. Just use CRXNG yourself, though. You have to self-host it because the person that's running it can query data about you, and you would have to trust it. Or you could just use Brave. Brave's okay. Brave has good privacy. I've never searched for an image using SiriusNG, DuckDuckGo, or Startpage is okay. You can use public NG services over Tor. Better the Russians than the Palantir. Russia will never agree to police searches by a Western company. Yeah, but they're just going to take that information themselves and fucking drive you into the ground. Saying that's better than Palantir is crazy. Crazy work right there. I must get more beer, guys. The reason why there's so many hack attacks coming from Russia is because the Russian denies all police searches from Western countries. How do you find the title of a music? But Tor browser uses either DuckDuckGo or Startpage. Well, there's also like a lot of reasons because Putin's fucking crazy, and nation state hacking is just a problem. I mean, the U.S. does it too. Israel does it. Fucking China does it. Like, pretty much they all do it. There's definitely evidence of that our telecommunications have been compromised by a lot of foreign countries. Vice versa. Like, it's a very universal thing. My cat's funny. But remember, if you got nothing to hide, you got nothing important to say. Later, Billy. Oh, you're memeing. Thanks for stopping by, Billy. Okay, so we're going to look at some emerging technologies that people maybe should pay attention to. So IPFS. And then we're going to go to Tor, I2P, HyphenNet, Freenet, and then YGG Reals end-to-end encrypted IPv6. Boom, 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 boom. Because these things are important. If you don't have a good fundamental understanding of how these networks work early on, it's going to be kind of annoying, and you're going to be like the boomer that's going to be like, what is that? What is IPv6? You know. What is IPVS? Paraosto. Guys, we need the paraphone. That's the that's the sauce. We're gonna get there, guys. Give me a second. There we go. Paralyzed though. Okay, so let's look at the interplanetary file system. We're going to look at also the Tor project, what it does on the routing, like what is Tor, HypheNet as well, Freenet, kind of, and then YGG D Russell as well, a protocol. And we're going to look at a social media presence called Nostr. Nostr is something that we looked at in the last live stream. So Nostr is labeled as notes and other stuff transmitted by relays. This is like kind of like the best option we have when it comes to decentralized networks and decentralized social media. A lot of these free speech platforms don't exist because they're owned by companies, and these companies at the end of the day will comply with law and or their policies. And these policies are, whatever you want them to really be. So we're going to look at something that is kind of like integrated into the system. This is what I believe Odyssey uses, and Odyssey is kind of like a pile of shit in terms of actual privacy. It doesn't really exist in terms of actual decentralization. It's not really that good. They pick shitty cryptocurrencies, and it's pretty lame of that. So it has been around for 2015, about 10 years since 2015. The last stable release was 6 months ago. The protocol was implemented by Go, which is super based, JavaScript, C, obsolete Python, client libraries are in Go, Java, JavaScript, etc., etc. File sharing and online privacy. That is the main core. The Interplanetary File System is a protocol, hypermedia, and file sharing peer-to-peer network for sharing data using distributed hash tables. This is DHT. This is kind of like normal in like your peer-to-peer, like if you've ever done any form of torrenting. Torrenting kind of allows this to happen. Because other people are grabbing these torrents and they're seeding them because they're not awful people, and they're taking these seeds and then they're sharing it other people so that your downloads can be faster and more efficient. So IPFS is uniquely identifies as each file in a global namespace that connects IPFS host, creating a distributed system of file storage and sharing. That is the point. So the Interplayer Fire System is a decentralized protocol, hypermedia, and peer-to-peer network distribution, file storage, and sharing. By using content addressing, IPF uniquely identifies files in a global namespace that interlinks IPF hosts, creating hypermedia systems that enables efficient and reliable data distribution. What about Mastodon? We live in a surveillance state. The problem with Mastodon is actually not decentralized. You have to run nodes by the people. These people can actually block you, and they can block you. I gotta see you. Awesome stream. Gotta go. Thanks, Code. Appreciate you stopping by. Have a wonderful rest of your night. As always. So Mastodon is a step towards decentralization. It's a great platform. It's kind of like Blue Sky. They're great platforms in theory because anyone can spin up a Mastodon server. I am not bound to the place in order to meet the criteria of said platform. Like Twitter, I have to create an account. If I create an account, that links to me as a person. They own that account. They can ban me. They can do what they want. It doesn't matter how much Elon Musk says he likes free speech. He doesn't. He cares about money and keeping the platform constantly making money. He is no different than any of the other cucks in the digital media space. So remember that. Elon Musk doesn't care about free speech, doesn't care about the platform, doesn't care about censorship resistance. So, what do you do about it? You got to create your own identity. You got to create your own platform. We've done social media for like 3 to 5 forever. At the end of the day, 3 to 5 forever. We start with MySpace, Friendica, you name it. Name every social media on the planet at this point. Tumblr, blah blah blah. And they all do the same thing. And because they all do the same thing, it doesn't matter. They all are platforms that don't care about you. They care about the money. Friendster, yes, that was it. Oh my god, oh dude, Friendster was crazy. They're still around, I think. Is Friendster? God, is Friendster still around? I know Friendica's still around. No. All right, bringing it back to the people. Is the social media prices users over growth? We will never sell your data. Based. Oh, it's coming back. That's crazy. Dissolved in 2015. Let's see if it comes back. October 2023, the domain was acquired by Friendster Labs, which published the terms of service privacy policy, and the site reactivated with an entry box for an email address to get early access. So this is probably over with. 3 years later. Buyers, Benchmark Capital, and private investors. In 2003, Friendster managed to receive $30 million buyout offer from Google, which it declined. Friendster received another $3 million funding in February of 2026. They probably should have taken that $30 million, but it's whatever. So, applications that use it. Filecoin is a cryptocurrency used to implemented by IPFS. The shadow library is cool but depressing. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, social media is just kind of dead at this point, but this is how we reclaim it. We reclaim it by moving to platforms that care about our privacy and care about our sovereignty when it comes to the digital space. They shouldn't need a platform that forces users to feel like they have to be there to interact with the better. This is why I do like Mastodon. I like Blue Sky. I like places where I can take my platform I like platforms that care about interoperability and allow me to move seamlessly between it. This is why I like ActivityPub. This is why I like the Fediverse. The Fediverse is bent on the idea that it allows people to take their identity with them. That is the purpose of social media. It's not about having 5 million users on a platform. It's about giving people the power to move to platform and choosing overall the best client. And it's not going to be easy. It's an uphill battle. I hate to say it. It's a very hard uphill battle. And people need to accept that. And that's okay. God, I remember the first version of Facebook. This is when Facebook was based. Full name, email, password. Oh man, when Facebook was super based. There we go. We're going to talk about Nostr for a little bit. I'm working on a coded version of Nostr where it's Monero based, and Monero is more, I guess, like the focus of it. That would be very cool and very awesome. What about BitChute and Gab? The problem with BitChute and Gab is they're filled with very political, schizophrenic people. And I'm sorry, this is just my personal take. Nostr, I don't need to care about politics or people's political ideology. I think it is a cancer on society. I think politics are important. I think people should proactively be involved in politics, but not online. You shouldn't be getting your bullshit ideology from a person that's just making tens of thousands of dollars a month on some retard platform on the other side of the screen. That's just my take. That's my personal take. I get definitely angry at not people that say they don't care about politics and don't think it affects them, and I get definitely angry at people that don't decide to do any form of activism and complain. Those are my like two very annoying pet peeves. Because I think if you complain and you have a system that can be fixed and you can have some impact on it, you should fucking do it. But seeing some retard on the fucking platform yelling into the microphone and the camera does not change my opinion. Don't care. That's my problem. And the same thing with like Rumble is way too political for me. Its entire ideology is based on this, and that's my problem with it. Like, I don't care that you found the truth about gay serum injected into your balls. That's not my point. My point is I want social media to go back to where it was, just like how we have. One second. What about bitch? And that's my general opinion is like Nostr. I get to choose what I can see or not. I don't have to fucking be involved into political ideology when I'm on the internet. And if I want to see politics, I just get involved locally. That's it. It's that simple. I don't need to fucking get canvassed on the fucking on the internet. Yeah, it's an extremely understandable take. People get so wrapped into political ideology when they get on the internet, they get radicalized in the gayest of ways. Like they get mad about shit and then they don't go fix anything. They get mad and they do literally nothing. I know it because I see it. And it's gay of them, honestly. I generally don't like the majority of the political landscape. I don't like a lot of I guess like ideas that people get from the online community, because I don't think it matters. I think it leads to generally people getting mad on the internet and not doing anything. It's like that simple. That's why I don't like those platforms. There's schizophrenic fucking paid shills that get tens of thousands of dollars probably to be like, like they just repeat and regurgitate the bullshit that they hear from someone else doing, and nothing happens. It's that simple. That's my general view of online politics. It's lazy pussies that don't do anything, and they don't do any form of political canvassing. They don't do any policy changes. They don't contact their state representatives. They don't call. They don't. They do nothing. That's my general take. And then they regurgitate this information to people, and they're like, "Hey, you should do nothing with me, loser," like kind of thing. That's my general ideology. I think politics is super super important. I will never stand. I will die on that hill, as the internet people will say. I think it's insanely important because it affects me. It affects me on a local level. It affects me on a national level. It affects me as a citizen. And you know what? Contrary to most people's ideology and belief in general, I love America. I think America is a great place to live. I have a lot of freedom. I don't have a Mastodon account, but I've used it and it looks good. Mastodon's great. Mastodon is a great platform. The problem with Mastodon is the account service maintainers can ban you, and you can get banned at the account like at the server level. And like Friendica in general, and like the Fediverse, and like I think Tumblr's supposed to get involved in there somewhere because they use ActivityPub because it's a protocol. I think these are super fucking cool. I don't think they should go anywhere, but they are still a central authority. Mastodon accounts can choose whether they want to interact with you or not, and that can be very limiting. Like, if you were to ask me to go from A, B to C, I would start with Mastodon. And then B, I would go to. Fuck, what would be the middle ground? That's a hard one. Like PixelFed or something. Or no, Blue Sky. Blue Sky would be a good option. I would go from Mastodon to Blue Sky to Nostr. Mastodon is like it'd be like Twitter is like you're like hell. And then Mastodon is like your freedom. You're like a step so like I would say like Mastodon, Twitter is like your personal hell, and then you go to Mastodon, and then you discover Blue Sky, and Blue Sky is a protocol. It's more expensive to run and like actually like incorporate yourself, and then you go from there to and you meet Nirvana, uh, Nostr. Now Nostr is super cool because look at this. So here's a global feed. I'm logged in. Here I have 4 relays. I have events. I have profiles. I have bandwidth. This I will fix the naming because it's so fall. It's so small. But here's my feed. Here's my profile. Don't have it. So my keys. So we're gonna do a new identity. And then there's my feed. I have my notes, the amount. Let's do this. Transmit. It should update. One note. Following, followers. Let's see this young lad right here who's not a real person. I'm going to switch around that following. I think it's the coloring is kind of lame. Nostr is the way to go. Is this like MySpace? Yes and no. Like it's like MySpace in the sense that you don't have to care about what you see and what you don't see. There's no algorithm. So Nostr is the way to go. So I'm building a Monero version of Nostr. I want there to be kind of like Nostr, but XYZ. Nostr can bring public or private, can be public. Yeah, it's very based. Global or local, yeah. So I'm gonna switch around in the feed. I want to do like a following and a global, but I want to put like following over here. We got hashtags. I got the profile. I got the QR code. I need to fix the. I need to fix uh, the feed, like the follow feed, like follow part, and some other things. I'm gonna be working on it. No worries. So very simple. DMs, profile, keys, relays. Hello, I'm looking at social media sites and Wikipedia, and it lists X in the parentheses eight. As far as I know, formerly known as Twitter. Oh, formerly known as Twitter. Yeah. Raspberry Pi, you can run your own relay to own your own notes and make community notes. Yeah, I run my own relay. You can actually do it on Android. That's how based it is. You can run your own relay on Android. You can run your own relay through fucking Bluetooth. That's how based it is. So I've integrated your own nodes, your own relays. You can add your own relay. You can use your own relay. You can use public relays, and you can use Tor. And if you're super based and super cool and you support the Monero economy, you can use Monero paid relays. You pretty much add relay, pay with XMR. So Nostr XMR relay, pay with XMR, another Nostr MR relay. Obviously, it might not exist. If it doesn't exist, that's okay. You can add your own. There's NeroStar. NeroStar is a very popular one, and there's just kind of like these other options. Have you looked into Meshtastic? Meshtastic is cool and super awesome. I think it just has limited functionality. Mesh Core and the Requiem network is kind of like your best option when it comes to actually decentralized communications. Meshtastic is good for a community standpoint and people that you know. But if you want decentralized communication and more flexibility, you want to go with something like the Requiem network, where it's a protocol, and the Requiem network allows you to be able to use anything kind of like something called an ad hoc network, where it's very flexible. The Recurrent network allows you to use different devices in order to achieve the same thing. Meshtastic is kind of limited to XYZ, where the Recurrent ad hoc network is XY, A through Z, like in terms of like usability. I was watching Data. Oh my god, not Data Slayer. God damn! Everyone gets hit by Data Slayer. Data Slayer is just fucking like, yikes, in my opinion, because they think like it's like they're just like very theatrical with like they think it's gonna like replace like ham radio, or they're gonna replace XYZ, and I don't know. I'm just not a fan. It's cool. Yeah, Regulum Network is cool. It's a very cool project. It's actually still actively maintained on like Matrix. If you're a Matrix enjoyer, I think Data Slayer is cool. Cashew and Lightning and XMR all on Nostr. No need for internet to transfer your tokens. Fuck Cashew. Lightning is less private. There's like still kind of proof of that. And based XMR, just run your own node. I think Data Slayer is cool for like the view count that they get, so it appeals to the masses. But I just don't think that their content is like kind of genuine. It's kind of like Mr. Beashish. It's very what's the word? Very what's the word? It's very hyperbolic, and yes, the Regulum network has a very active. Well, Element is the client. Element is the client, and Matrix is the protocol. Synapses, like you can use Element, and the Regulum network is very active in the Matrix protocol. So if you're looking for like protocol-based Regulum network, you can use it more even in an ad hoc environment. And you could use it in more like if you have like let's say in a hypothetical scenario, you have like a what's a MikroTik like 2.5 gigahertz. The dude Tim Moody behind Data Slayer channel used to make dating videos like 9 years ago. He deleted that channel. He did seem nerdy, but I don't think he was into tech. Very psych manipulation. I just don't like the YouTube. Like, I mean, that's not surprising. He does look like one of those datings. Okay, so let's look at um, Data Slayer. Videos, retic ulam rec, the master protocol, retic lum, reticulum, pickup artist. Yeah, not surprised. Let's look at the oldest. Critical Docker. Oh my god. Motherfucker brought up Docker. I don't trust him already. Bridges online to offline. So he probably did like dating stuff and then like, what's funny? Helping you deploy decentralized open wireless communication systems, 246 videos, 500,000 subs, DigitalOcean Nginx. I don't trust any man that says they like Nginx. Nginx hater gang. This is Caddy loving gang. Docker, how to capture mobile device network traffic. Yeah. Nostr to Requiem to mesh network. Yeah, you could achieve that. Nostr relays are like very like easy. The ghost in the search machine with Doug Tumble Elasticsearch though. Elasticsearch, gay. Train an image classifier in 3 minutes. Something Rebel Raspberry Pi. What the fuck is that? Neural transfer total images. What's wrong with Docker? I barely know what it is. FYI, container stuff like environments, but beyond that, I don't. Docker, Docker is cool, but use how to use your Raspberry Pi to detect objects. Docker has a lot of problems, in terms of like security standards. So you have to really understand Docker and like Docker networking, like at a fundamental level. And Docker has its issues. LXT containers can be a little bit better. I just don't like Docker because it generally picks Debian by default and just hate Debian. This is a personal preference. I think Docker is great in the terms of being able to spin up virtual machines very fast, very efficient, and it's containered, but there are better ways to do it. That's just perspective. How to create machine learning SSL, the new method to set up SSL certificates using Google. I mean, this guy's been doing it for 10 years. Let's see the popular. Yeah, like the phone killer, internet killer. I built a $20,000 military router for $106. Like, this is like, it's just it's very.
This runs a long-range radio.
This is the Reculum network, and the thing is, I mean, the Batman network exists, and YGG Rails. Yep, that's the video I watched. Oh man, 20 minutes though.
915 megahertz.
You don't have to use 20 minutes of this. It's just too long.
No Wi-Fi. This runs on Wi-Fi. No long-range radio. Different frequencies, different hardware. They have absolutely no way to talk to each other.
Motherfucker, I gotta pay for 3x speed? God, I hate YouTube. I hate YouTube.
They just did, and that should be possible because these two devices don't share the same modulation technique, the same radio hardware, or even the same frequencies, and they definitely shouldn't understand each other unless what we think of as the internet is versus all years covering decentralized rigs I've ever constructed. I'm so shocked that it actually worked, but for me,
why are you shocked it worked? You okay? Oh, sorry, internet killer. Yeah. Sorry, I had too much beer, and it hit my stomach. So this motherfucker straight up the Matrix isn't even that good. Like, this is like the worst scene of the Matrix. Like Neo picking like the red pill or the blue pill. This is what makes me angry. Okay, take care of yourself if you need to, bro. No, I'm straight. So this guy is like has like the worst clip of like the Matrix in general. There's like so many more important parts in an iPhone. iPhone gay. But thank you for being caring of my lungs. Mannet radio. This is like This is a Mannet radio. Mannet radios are. You can buy Mannet radios as a civilian. You got to make sure they're demilitarized. It's a very expensive hobby to get into. You could just do ham radio or CB radio. Mannet radios are like their own thing. Like if you want to get into like an expensive hobby, that's an option. This is not something that people don't normally. Okay. You're not going to see it if you're not looking for it. No one's just like opening up YouTube. I'm sorry, like I'm being like very critical, but like, what is Mannet radio? Like no one's doing that because it's not something that's reliable. It's not cheap to get into. It's very expensive. There's something called Open Mannet. Open Mannet is like an open source way in order to achieve the same results, but in an open source and inexpensive way, and you have to build the product yourself. If you are buying actual Mannet radios, it is not cheap, it's not cost effective, it's not cheap, it's a very expensive hobby. You can just go get a ham radio and your ham radio license and achieve the same conception of decentralized communications, meaning that you are trying to communicate with someone with XYZ with this without spending of tens of thousands of dollars into a system that you might not even fucking use. Rant ended. Moment.
Some people started calling it the hacker network, not because it's illegal, but it's in forums, in my DMs, a project I mostly ignored, Reticulum. Some people
Reticulum. So
started calling it the hacker network, not because it's illegal, but because it represents a completely different law.
it's no one calls it the hacker network. And if you call it the hacker network, you're gay. Like, no one's calling it the hacker network. This is not a new concept. It's the same thing as the Batman network. The Batman network is like an ad hoc network that allows you to take parts off the shelf and then take the product and send or the packets and send them everywhere. Not that difficult concept. Anyone can do this if you have access to Bluetooth and a couple of antennas.
Philosophy about how communication should work: open, autonomous, sovereign communication that doesn't rely on permission or centralized infrastructure. And instead of talking about it, I decided to build one to see if the idea actually.
How does 2 million views get out of this?
The problem is today our devices are
2 million views is fucking crazy. I just don't get it, but whatever.
very capable, diverse, and ever-changing. But this is like literally
Nope.
Most of our communication has come all the way back.
So, your ISP to NSA to Amelia, the what?
Into the house to reach your phone. Two devices just a few feet apart. And to me, that just feels wrong. Most of our communication today is controlled by the communication cartels, which are centralized platforms and infrastructure that sit between us and decide how, when, and sometimes if we.
Yeah, how else would the fuck would it make it through the internet? It's like calling them the cartels is like saying like the highways is the FBI. What a fucking retard take. I'm getting irated. I need to chill out.
They effectively control our action potential in the digital world. They can shut us off intentionally, as we've seen in railroad crises where communication channels suddenly disappear, or accidentally, like the Verizon outage last month.
Verizon engineers are making progress on the network issues. Yeah, networks go out. He's fine for normies like me, though. Yeah, I mean, I get yes and no, because it's an overwhelming amount of information that is maybe irrelevant and not really like it doesn't get. I don't think. I mean, maybe this is just like my criticism, but whatever.
Millions of absurd. Now, I'll be honest, when I first looked at Reticulum, I wasn't sold. I mean, the ideas are beautiful, but I think a lot of beautiful ideas die in the camera. So I went deep.
It's not that deep. You get you literally you can run a Reticulum on your fucking PC. You can run on your PC. It's not that deep. It's not that hard.
I read docs. I watched Mark's Unstoppable Network talk at Chaos Communication.
This guy's based. He's a farmer, by the way.
In Congress, looked at real deployments, Crowdfund, MeshNYC, GiveNet, Mesh communities, and the deeper I went, the more confused I got because the philosophy made sense, but I still couldn't answer one simple question: does anyone actually use this, or is it just another beautiful idea? I decided to stop wondering.
That's like asking like if people use Tor.
and see if we could put together our own parallel network. So I started with an Ardo, a full build from scratch. Now, Mark dropped a guide on his personal blog.
Thanks. I appreciate it. It's just retarded to ask if anyone's using a product. Like, and if it's like based around some form of anonymity. You're not going to collect data. And the thing is, radio waves are a finite amount of resources and a finite amount of range. It's not infinite. It's not like cellular. Like, I can pick up my phone right now and call someone in Bangkok if I want to and be like, show me your tits. And they'll do it for a price, obviously, because it is bouncing from me to me to me to me to me to, like, from me to XYZ, from XYZ to ABC, from ABC to other country. It's that simple. It's not like it's not like a question you need to be asking yourself. To be completely honest, it's like asking, it's like going on 4chan and being like, does anyone really use this? No, it doesn't fucking matter if anyone uses this. It doesn't mean that it's not a good product. It's retarded. It's just a retarded idea to think this. It's just dumb. It's gay. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just like I'm not like that invested into, does anyone use this? It doesn't matter if anyone uses this. It doesn't mean that it's a bad product. It doesn't mean that it isn't going to be used in the future. I think people at some point have looked at like cell phones and they're like, does anyone use this? No! And it doesn't matter. That's the point. At a point in time, like, cell phones were probably like made fun of. They're like, this is gay and this is lame and no one's gonna use this. And now cell phones are like very relevant. You could say that about the Requiem how do I say this? I don't know how to. Do I know how to?
Does anyone actually use this? Or is it just another beautiful idea? I decided to stop wondering and just build made sense. It's FiFunk, Mesh NYC. I read the docs, I watched Mark's Unstoppable Network talk at Chaos Communication Congress, looked at real deployments, FiFunk, Mesh NYC, GigaNet, Meshtastic Communities, and the deeper I went, the more confused Cation Congress, looked at real deployments, FiFunk, Mesh NYC, GigaNet, Meshtastic Communities, and the deeper I went, the more confused I got because the philosophy made sense, but I still couldn't answer one simple question. Does anyone actually...
I may be misunderstanding, but don't a lot of people have to set up physical nodes similar to Tor for it to be usable? No, of course not. You and one friend using it, a point-to-point direction, is all that matters. So I have been involved in this network, even though I can't pronounce it, for a very long time. You can use QR codes to send messages. That's how great. It's a protocol, and because it's a protocol, so you can use sideband on Android. It can route through I2P. It can be point to point. You can use what do you call it? MikroTik, dishes, point to point dishes. You can use unified dishes. You can use it as a KissNet. You can use ham radio. You can use so many. It's an ad hoc network, and because it's ad hoc, meaning that it's less reliant. I don't want to come off as condescending. It's more agnostic, meaning that it's a protocol that can be used across the network in many forms. That it gives its ability of freedom. And because it gives its ability of freedom, because you choose how the means of data is kind of separated and sent out, that it's not bound to getting a device like Meshtastic. Meshtastic is bound to a device, and I mean that in a good way. I remember. Of course, Meshtastic is bound to a device. It's bound to a device that needs to be within the proximity of you as the person, as the carrier. You need to make sure that Meshtastic is advancing through a physical entity that you own. When you have something like this, where it's a protocol, he talks about this. The protocol allows it to be very decentralized. They can take the protocol and ship it out. Doesn't matter where it comes from. That's the base part. That is the super cool part. It's cool that he talks about this, but I don't think he needs 20 minutes, to be honest.
Use this, or is it just another be filled from keyboard runs on use sound and factors and array interfaces, which means you can talk to people who don't have the same heart.
Yeah. So yeah, right here.
Electric, it's hard to be. Reticulum does something fundamentally different though, because it's not. A radio protocol. It's a phone. You can talk to people who don't have the same hardware as you. Because in serial cables, Reticulum treats all these as interchangeable interfaces, which means you can talk to people. So radios, Wi-Fi, Ethernet, serial cables, Reticulum treats all these as interchangeable, not a regular wall on that single LoRa transport layer. For lightweight messaging and telemetry, it's hard to beat. Reticulum does something fundamentally different. All async back has link bed scales linearly and not exponentially, but isn't limited to graphic identity and fault, and the origin of messages is obscure.
So you use public key and private key cryptography. This is kind of like the nice part about it. So if say you have a tree, and you take the tree and you can actually do it through Sideband, which is like the Android application. You can take this and make a QR code, and someone can come up and scan that QR code, and they can decrypt your message. It works off public key and private key cryptography. Private key and public key cryptography. Very simple to understand.
Obscure by design. Think of it less like traditional network over Wi-Fi, or you can flash the thermal and flash it to the root options. You have outside sideband, Nomad Net, but the one I had the most an hour ago. Same hardware, completely different network. But the client side there.
I just hate how this guy looks.
There are a few options. You have this open real lecture at all. Just two radios that are interesting. Same message, but now it's traveling over 915 megahertz. LoRa. No Wi-Fi, no internet, no infrastructure. Now let's swap to something more interesting. Schematically and messages. So through. Nothing exotic yet, but watch the network.
Based! So it's an app on your phone or a computer, right, that can use anything for... Yeah! And you can actually do it from your computer. It's called the Nomad Network. You can do it through the Nomad Network. You can do it through Sideband. You can do it through a KISS, TNC. You can do it through... There's so many... It's a protocol. And these protocols are allowing you to have this kind of freedom.
Visualize. You can actually find an LoRa. Loading radios. Possible for it to crap. You want to crack it? Only a LoRa radio.
But if you're a Bluetooth nerd, this is kind of like what you want. There it is. This is what you want. If you want true independence, it allows you to have true independence. That's what you want.
It's a popular device with only a Wi-Fi 2.4 GHz radio. I think that's super cool, super powerful, and one of the other advantages of Reticulum. Completely different radios, completely different frequencies. Quickly obvious until we've already faster, longer range, and already sitting on something even bigly. We weren't just sending
Based,
just 2 nodes hacking into power.
C-Studio based.
So the Linux version of Reticulum radio at 960 quick, no matter what range or something. But the cool thing is,
Nice. Yeah, very bass, very nice. Me sitting in my garage. Just with a camera and an antenna. You can build this yourself. It's very easy. There's schematics out there. I don't know why he's holding his phone in front of him. I'm not gonna ask. Because that would be gay. OpenManNet, that's a very good, yeah. I'm checking out Open. I'm actually looking into this. It's a very interesting project. Super bass, super cool. Wow. So, guys, super bass and super cool for you joining me. And I appreciate all the new listeners, as I should, because they make sure YouTube know that I'm a real person and I love all of their policies. I hate nothing about them. They're the greatest platform to be on. as they should be. And you got to make sure that you comment below what your favorite planet is. If you don't tell me what your favorite planet is, you are going to get 500 years of bad luck and you're not going to have a good time. Not only that, I appreciate the comments and I appreciate the love and care. I will see you guys in the next video. Super bass. Don't forget to walk your snail. 10,000 years of bad luck. Love and peace. Later.